I think we should do this one in Spanish.
I don't speak Spanish.
Hola! Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Today we're going to discuss the Toxic Cup, which was just announced for the Silph Arena. It's going to be coming up in March.
Yep. So it falls in line with the other Silph Cups that have happened in the past, where it's Great League, and there's some type restrictions on this one instead of the colors.
Yep, I'm glad that we're getting back to the type restrictions instead of just going off the colors themselves. Makes it a little bit easier, I feel like, for a lot of people to play.
Right. So this time, Toxic Cup, you can kind of guess that Poison, of course, is going to be included in this one, along with Bug, Normal, Ground, and Grass Pokemon.
Yes. They're also going to have some special Pokemon that are not allowed to compete in this. And of course, it's going to be Tropius. He's flying grass, and he's
a tank.
Yeah, he would take this cup. Noctowl is out of it as well. So normal and flying. And Vigoroth. With that body slam spam,
yes,
he's got to be taken out. And then they eliminated Mud Boys, so anything that's ground and water typing is not allowed to be used.
So a lot of times where you would see your Swamperts, Quagsires, Whiscash,
Yep.
Those are out.
Yep, they're out of there. So that definitely limits you up quite a bit on what you can choose, but it might make it a lot more competitive.
Sure.
I feel like.
Yep, see how it goes.
Yeah.
And then we also have some meta-relevant Pokemon that have already been kind of singled out in the rankings. One of those top ones being Golbat, Poison Flying.
Yeah, and he just moved up to the top. Earlier, when this cup was first announced, he was not at the top of the list, and it was actually Scizor that was at the top, and he's actually moved down quite a bit.
Also, an increase in rank would be Bibarel from Bidoof. So things with the Water Gun Surf, not very many without the Mud Boys. There's not a lot of water attackers.
Right.
So this will be kind of that, if you want a water attacker, the way to go.
Right. You'll definitely be able to take out the ground typings and with the Water Gun Surf, and then Hyper Fang for the normal damage, and it deals pretty good damage throughout the meta as well.
And then you have your typical ground attackers that we've seen in the past. Steelix is definitely a returning Pokemon. And from the last cup, with the Rose Cup, Gliscor and Gligar are coming back.
Yes. And they performed very well in the Rose Cup. A lot of people were using those guys on their teams.
So you might have one that you've already powered up
or
have been using, and you can use again. Another one that you might be able to reuse are things like Heracross and Flygon, if you're lucky to have one of those.
Yeah.
You're going to need that Legacy Community Day move on Flygon with Earth Power.
Yeah. Definitely be nice to have that. Piloswine made the list with Powder Snow and Avalanche. It's going to be good for taking out the Bug type and the Grass types. So that'll be nice to have, because there's not a lot of fire in this cup. There are a few Pokemon that have a fire type move. What a purely fire Pokemon. They're the only one I know of is the Camerupt.
Yes.
And he's fire and ground. So and really he's never been meta relevant before, so a lot of people probably don't have one powered up.
It'd be interesting, maybe in a future video we can try the Spicy Pig and see how he performs.
He's also going to be 4 times weak to water though, so that might be something to watch out for.
And one of those other water typings is Quillfish. So if you want to enter that water, he also benefits from Stab, where the barrel doesn't. So
that's true. That is true. Toxicroak's back on the list.
Yeah.
He's a very good poison fighting, so he can take a lot of the poison hits with not as super effective damage as any of the other fighters. So he's nice to have definitely on your team with Counter, Mud Bomb, and Sludge Bomb.
And then, as we noted, Noctowl is restricted, but a unilateral pick that you might want would be a Pidgeot. You have to be careful with that one though, because Wing Attack is what's being suggested as one of the best fast moves on that Pokemon, just because of charge timing and attack damage. It's a legacy move, so if you don't have an old one, it might not be the pick for you.
Yep, I don't have one. So.
Yep.
we'll definitely try those out in an upcoming video where we test out a lot of these picks and see how well they perform and work on our teams.
Yeah, and then of course you have your bug typings.
Yes.
So Wormadam, Trash Form will be making an appearance, along with things like the Scizor. Fortress was a huge one.
Definitely.
In, was it the Rainbow Cup? Fortress?
I'm not sure which one he was on, but he did perform very well. Was it
Jungle Cup last season?
Yeah.
But you might have one of those. It would be a recycled pick possibly.
Yeah.
Another legendary legacy move user would be Dugtrio.
Yeah.
Decent ground typing, but if you don't have much shot on him, you're gonna have some trouble.
Yeah. And we also have a couple ghosts in this tournament as well that are definitely worth noting. Haunter and Gengar with ghost and poison typing will be here, so definitely watch out for those as well. And
yep.
they could take your team for storm if you're not paying attention.
Yep. And with ghost then brings the Charmers, so it would be tough kind of being that tank Charmer with the fairy typing. You could very well see one of those in this cup. It's
definitely
very
could.
versatile.
Yeah. With that though, it's going to be taking super effective damage from steel and poison, so you'll definitely want to watch out for that. There's going to be a lot of counters in this, so it's going to be tough to build a team with generalists, so you'll have to have some, but you definitely have to build your team with hard counters, knowing what people are going to be bringing out.
And definitely picking your along with generalist kind of core users, so like a flyer, a tank, an anti-tank. Like you definitely want to have your core players on your team of 6.
Yes.
And that might be a topic for a future video.
Yes, absolutely.
Let us know in the comments below if that's something that you would want to have covered.
So that's our first look at the Toxic Cup. Make sure you guys subscribe, like this video, and hit that notification bell so you're notified when our videos do come out.
And we'll catch you on the next one.
Thanks, guys.